Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 21 of the Skillless Podcast. And as Josh would have said, our little podcast is now can finally actually drink for his first time too, as well. So anyway, this is going to be the start of my solo, and from the last time we recorded, man, a lot of stuff have happened though. If anything, it's kind of crazy how long we recorded, because we recorded it about, oh boy, was it August? I want to say it's towards the beginning of August when we last recorded. Let me pull it up real quick, because it's been a while since we last recorded, so it's kind of hard to remember, because we recorded a fast food tier list, which is what's out on the channel right now, and that one was a huge, gigantic thing. And the last previous episode was back in August 13th. Oh, that was actually when my brother's birthday was. Anyway, boy, yeah, that must have been towards the beginning of August, if I want to say. And that's when we had a lot of stuff that happened. Yeah, I remember that now. That was like when VShojo went and imploded and stuff like that too. But yeah, it's been almost basically a month since that recording, again, as usually. But last time, at least from then to now, I want to say not really much have changed, but also a lot kind of did too. I have basically gotten a little bit more busy at work here and there at this point too, as well. So I'm been a bit tired too. I've also been doing the usual regular D&D stuff too, as well. I have also been planning for the trip that's coming up later on, which I'll tell you later, if anything, in the podcast when it comes up too. But yeah, just a lot of stuff that's been going on. Just been mostly been basically in the background, kind of just trying to figure things out. And as I said in the last episode that came out, basically the bonus content of the future of the channel, I'm going to be flying this solo. So, but for right now, let's get on with whatever topics I actually have going on right now. And basically, it's not a lot that I can think of at the moment, but it's kind of just stuff like I've been wanting to talk about, or at least like I had in my notes previously from the previous episodes. So basically, I kind of just gonna go through that. But I recently just watched the Gundam Witch from Mercury, both season 1 and 2, which I've been wanting to check this anime out for the longest time at this point too, as well. And basically, just because like there's one specific scene in season 1 that everybody made reference to, and I was so confused about it, or I was kind of curious about it too, and I kind of got a little like spoilery on it a little bit here and there, but I've been kind of curious about it. But the main context of like kind of like the meme from it is basically like Silhouette, the main protagonist with the Gundam, basically literally the one that came from Mercury. It's basically like the meme of her of like holding the tomato and squishing it and stuff like that too. So if you watched it, you kind of know what I'm talking about, especially towards the end of the first season. But dude, that was pretty interesting. It's a pretty good, interesting series at that point. I want to say it's, as I said, it's been a while since I seen it too, since it was going for the previous like episode topic between me and Josh, but it was pretty good, interesting show at this point, especially with the Gundams that was in there. The basically like almost going from like it's funny thing too, because from the very beginning of the series, from season 1, it looked like sorry about that. It basically was a high school drama kind of thing where they're kind of trying to go through this stuff and everything like that too, as well, while kind of hinting at the Gundam lore in this basically continuity. And basically it's kind of interesting just the way how it is thrown at this point, with her being an outsider, and then like also of course being the same old like space racism between the Earth and the Space Noids, or I should say Earthians and Space Noids. And then of course like slowly kind of surely everybody was kind of like wondering like, when is the usual Gundam like tropes gonna come in, like, you know, about war and stuff like that too. And it wasn't until the very end of the first season and then slowly get into the second season, it's like, that's where that Gundam trope came from. Okay, we don't have to worry about it now. But yeah, freaking it's kind of crazy that like it's pretty good just for the way how everything was good leading up, especially the reveal for the main character on what happened and kind of like her circumstances at this point. And basically it's really good. Like I do recommend watching that one too as well. And it's like such a good series, at least especially if you're a starting Gundam fan. Like there's no like lore or everything's kind of like within its own continuity at this point. So this is one of the good like jumping in points I would recommend to kind of get like a little hints of like at least get started off with the high school drama and then slowly get into the Gundam politics that usually is known for that whole series at that point. And I'll tell you though, at least in my opinion, and I think some people have the same one, that towards the end of season 2, it kind of felt a little bit rushed though, if anything. I'll admit that, especially after a certain point, maybe between the last 2 to 3 episodes, it felt very rushed, especially after leading up to the main plot and finale for that plot to finish its resolution. It did it really well at that point, but then it felt like that they needed some more time, or it felt like if they actually like probably, it seemed like that they were canceled or saying that they weren't getting a new season, so they were literally rushing to finish the story, because the plot within, I think, maybe the last, as I said, 2 or 3 episodes felt like it could have been at least extended out or been more fleshed out if they had another season at that point too as well. But you'll know once you get to that point, basically, of feeling rushed of the story, because it really felt a little bit jarring, or kind of felt a little bit unsatisfied at that point, which kind of sucks though too, because it had so much like good like storytelling up to that point to kind of like just feel rush ending at that point, and kind of feels a little bit unsatisfied, especially after the whole lead up to it. But overall, I say it's a pretty good anime show. I'll give it maybe about an 8.7. I want to say that's kind of what my gut instinct is giving me, an 8.7 out of 10. But there is one other series that I've been actually looking forward to, that I actually have caught up and actually watched, which is basically the new King of the Hill season, the newest season that came out on Hulu. And boy, I'll tell you though, like if anything, I would say like if you didn't like the first episode, I say stay and watch the second and third one, because the first episode is a little bit jarring. And I did watch a video on like somebody's like reaction to like, or at least their own thoughts on it, and even like I was kind of like thinking about it too. Like I didn't, at the first episode, I kind of was a little bit like that seems kind of weird. Like I kind of get like the animation is the same like HD format as it was before it got ended in early 2000, or late, was it early 2000 or late 2000? It's one of the time when they had their final season before this one, and it's still to say the same style and everything like that too. So it's a little bit jarring in animations because of like how it's still the same story style, but like once you get used to the animation and stuff like that too, it feels just like the OG King of the Hill, like story time. I meant series. Sorry, my brain's, it's a little bit late for me. But anyway, yeah, it's a pretty good series. It's a weird start for it, but once you get past the first episode, which basically is kind of more of like exposition on like basically what happened between everybody at this point, what's going on, and basically what happened. But and it feels a little bit weird, but once you get past that initial first episode, second episode on to the very final, like episode 10, felt so good. Or it just felt like a classic King of the Hill episodes, and there's so many like stuff that I was laughing at, and like I audibly laugh at certain jokes and stuff like that too. And it's pretty much like so cool to see like these kids and adults like see how they grown up. And boy, I'm gonna tell you, at least for this right now, like if you haven't watched it, I say watch it right now. But man, I feel like they treated Bill Dauterive wrong. That was, although I can see it happening to him like that too as well. But man, they did him dirty, at least showing him in the very first episode. But boy, he at least he's a little bit better, if anything too. And also then I want to address that the voice actors for both John Redcorn and Dale Gribble were actually memorialized, or like kind of like had their own dedicated episode dedicated to them, and it felt pretty like kind of like a little soft, or not soft. Sorry, not that's a bad thing to say. It felt a little bit like kind of like heartwarming, but also a little bit sad seeing that those episodes were dedicated to them, because sadly we lost the voice actor to Dale Gribble before he finished his lines and stuff like that too. And sadly that the voice actor for John Redcorn sadly was killed during the off season. Like after, but luckily he did record all his lines and stuff like that too. So that's the one thing that's kind of sad. But 2 episodes were definitely dedicated to him, and you can tell which episodes was basically just for them at that point too as well. And boy, those 2 episodes were literally just ratcheted up. And it's funny too, because like the Dale specific episode was like almost the reason like I kind of remember why I was like, oh Dale, you like, it's got that like you want to like slug him a bit, but it's like you can't, because you know it's Dale at this point. Like it's Dale doing Dale things at that point too as well. So that one was a good episode. John Redcorn one, I'm trying to remember that one, but that one was pretty good, and it seemed like they were leading up to something at least coming up. But sadly, I don't know if they're gonna recast him, or if they might do something kind of like a send off for him at that point too as well. But we'll see if anything, because I heard that there's a new season that got greenlighted for that whole thing, and basically I'm excited, especially like it felt a classic King of the Hill series season at this point. Like there's like few here and there that was kind of a little bit off, but like, especially with Dale Gribble's like voice, like you can tell like when it was the Dale Gribble's voice actor compared to like the new one that was trying to imitate Dale Gribble at that point too as well. So you can kind of see that a little bit like difference, like something seems off at that point in certain episodes where you can tell it's the alternate basically at that point. But man, I tell you though, the time that passed by between both the original King of Hell and the newest one is kind of crazy how long it's been. But yet they still managed to faithfully still like Mike Judge still managed to kill it at this point, especially like how he did with the Beavis and Butthead, the return of that one. Like it feels like it's still a classic. Like, cause I didn't really much watch Beavis and Butthead as a like when it was out, because I wasn't really like old enough for it then. But ironically, I do remember watching. But I wasn't old enough to watch them because I was still a little kid. But I do still remember watching Beavis and Butthead Do America, and boy, that was something to like something to watch while as a kid, if anything. But still funny though too as well, because it's a little yeah, you know the humor on it. But yeah, it's funny too to see that Mike Judge also bring back Beavis and Butthead, and it's crazy to see how good that show is too as well. Like it's such a good show, and I only been seeing clips of it here and there, but man, he's been killing it on bringing these old shows back and still having the original feel of these shows and able to like modernize it at this point while still like keeping it original too. So, and speaking of time like flying by, boy, just recently, back into 2020, there was this company that basically I want to say I can't believe that it's been 5 years since I've gone down this rabbit hole. And the fact that like it's insane that how much I've really gotten to this fandom. And I'm sure like people that been listening to this for a while now, but the people that don't know, I'm a big VTuber fan. So I basically watch like either watch or watch their streams or watch clips of their streams, and even like it basically just support them through merch and stuff too as well. But I am a big VTuber fan, especially in the Hololive and some of the now independent VTubers that's originally from VShojo and stuff like that too as well. But I still remember the very first like I want to say the very first VTuber that I know that got me in, the first 2 I should say, if any, the first 2 or 3 that got me into VTubing back in 2020. And this was like, I want to say this was like post like shutdown of when everything happened in during the pandemic time, because I still remember 2020 to 2019 was such an interesting year at this point too as well, because of so much things that happened during that time. And it's really weird that I know specifically what the week that the week that before the shutdown, I remember, because also like I remember specifically like at least months leading up to it. I think it started in 2019 when Regal Theaters started having that new like unlimited movie plan, or that Regal Unlimited going on, and it was such a brand new thing too as well. And I was like one of the very I want to say few members that actually started doing it. And basically like and because I worked at Target that was nearby the mall that's nearby that Target, which had the Regal Theater in it too. So I decided like, while I wait for my ride to go home and everything, I can easily just go to the movie theaters, which basically like was pretty cheap, because all I get like I only pay like I think $29.99 or $22.99. I can't remember what it was at the time, but it was around like $24 to $25 if anything for per month. And basically I just pay the internet duty or the internet taxes just to reserve my time. And it's basically the easiest money like saved at that point too, because I was going to the movies almost like weekly at that point too as well. If not, maybe like sometimes I'll even do it like 2 days, or like, do it like that. At least two movies per week, if anything. And that one was the biggest savings of all, because you know how movie tickets are today. Movie tickets are so expensive that like this one was basically just a deal at this point, because I could literally have my money already paid for that, or money saved already, but just between two movies. And I was going at least, I want to say maybe about per month, if anything, 4 to 6 movies per month. And in all honesty, I actually really enjoyed it. I wish I could do it, because I wanted to go watch more movies, but I don't have the time or vehicle to go, or license. But I seen so many like movies that were going from like I wanted to see to like big movies, all the way down to like movies that I heard of but I never really thought about. And even one that like, especially this one specifically, Parasite, I never really thought about it, because at one point I was at work, I was looking through my Regal's movie app and trying to see the showtimes that would be like going on like when I leave work and be able to get there. So like I usually try to time it within 30 minutes of starting time, so at least I know I have time to be able to watch the movie and be able to like at least within the time of like me starting to watch the movie to getting picked up. And basically I was looking through different movies that was on there in that time, and I didn't really like see really much of anything, and until I saw a movie called, as I said earlier, Parasite, which was about the South Korean family that was in the lower income using the high end family, and then they're basically back and forth, like they're both parasites to each other at that point. And basically it wasn't going to even be on my radar until I actually went and saw it, like, oh, I might as well give it a try. At that point, reserved a ticket, and that one was such a good movie, at least at that point, that I really enjoyed it. If anything, like that was really good just to watch on its own. And I really enjoyed it. So that one was one of my recommended movies to watch at that point too as well. But anyway, yeah, going way off on tangent at that point too as well. Back in 2020, it was, oh yeah, just forgot to say, the last movie I did watch before all the shutdown was what was it? It wasn't Wish. It was a Pixar movie. It was Onward. That's what the movie was. The movie was Onward. And boy, that one kind of did make me a little bit cry too, because it was like certain like themes that was going on in there, and kind of just thinking about my own personal life too as well. I was like, man, that kind of like hit me a little bit hard, if anything, especially towards the very ending of that movie too as well. It's like, wow. But in 2020, basically I was stuck at home, kind of like wasn't doing much of anything. And basically I don't know how it started, or I don't know how it got recommended to me, but the very first VTuber that was recommended to me was a certain electric kettle called Pikamee. And basically, she is not technically currently, I want to say, how can I say this? She currently is graduated, but she is still currently streaming under a different alias, as I think I might have said in one of the earlier episodes, as her new alias called Henya the Genius. So basically, she was my first ever VTuber I've ever encountered and kind of like watched too, because not only she was speaking, because VTubing at the time was mostly known during the East, or like during the Asian Pacific area. Like it was mostly like there was a couple of like English VTuber around too as well. Like that kind of was like shown around and stuff like that too, but it wasn't as big as it is now. And it was such a niche like thing to find, but Pikamee for me kind of got me at first too, because not only she spoke Japanese, that kind of like was like interesting, but subtitles, clips, and everything like that too. But she also spoke English too as well. So not only like she spoke Japanese, but she also spoke English, which helped the overseas people able to kind of connect with her a little bit more than anything too, like me. And I still remember the one video I certainly love, even to this day, was her playing the Winnie the Pooh Flash game, and it was the Tigger Home Run Derby.
Let's say it's a difficult game. It's not. It's not.
A few moments later.
Goddamn piece of fucking shit!
And that one, just seeing her like go through all that, and I wish I had freaking downloaded the original video of it, because I think it might have been taken out, but I think I might have found at least something similar to it. But that was one of the very first one that I want to say, one of the very first few that I've seen that was such, that got me a little bit hooked onto it. And then once I started watching her, I started watching a different other like VTubers that started slowly becoming from the Hololive talent. So which ended up being like her, I was gonna started with Miko, I think, and with her, it was mostly with her and her GTA online play, or GTA story mode play, but especially with her saying the N-word whenever like Lamar got dissed at that one scene, which you all know about.
She ever stop fucking with that brain surgeon, the lawyer she fucking with, nigga.
And basically, it started off with her, and then with her being on top of the building and one that you can able to get access to, and her shooting at just random people, telling everybody to go home, go home. Just basically just shooting people, just saying go home and stuff like that too as well. So.
Stay home! Stay home だよ, みんな! Stay home! 家にいて!
That was such a good like clip. Like that's a classic clip. Like my God, I can't believe how old that is, because that was still like within a couple of months new at that point too as well. And then after that, it started off with after that it was Korone, the wild dude from the same branch of Hololive JP, and her and some of the old animation styles from Too Many Stacks, I think is what it was, that basically was the pinnacle of like kind of getting a lot of people into it, which is the Eekum Bokum.
Eekum Bokum.
The one from Banjo and Kazooie, the mumbo saying at that point too as well, where she repeats it, and someone animated her saying it and everything like that too as well. So I remember when that first came out, and that kind of basically like got me into more of that Hololive at this point too as well, which slowly started me to watching more of their girls, like watching everybody. And this is how early it was of me remembering that. I remember one of the people that I subscribed to, or like I later subscribed to, which was Rando Wiz, and with him being so excited of Botan, Shishiro Botan, the FPS almost god of Lioness, and basically like when she first debuted her own 3D like avatar at that point, like because these talents they start off with their own live 2D models and stuff like that too. And over the year, if they stay long enough, at least I've been seeing that if they at least reach the year and a little bit more than that, they get their own 3D programming or their 3D avatars that they do a whole stream reveal at this point, which is pretty crazy. And yeah, I still remember like seeing Bolton, like everybody's reaction to her at the time, getting her actual 3D debut at that point. And there's one, like, it's kind of crazy just to think too that this was all before the summer of 2020. And I still remember vividly too as well when I was getting kind of like really starting getting into the VTubing space, that I remember how big of an announcement this was HoloLive announced their English branch and their debut of 5 girls that was going to be debuted with their names and Twitter handles already ready to follow and stuff like that too. Which the 5 girls I'm talking about is Calliope Mori, Takanashi Kara, and then Inanis Ninome, Amelia Watson, and Gargura. Which these 5 girls were basically nobody expected to kind of like really like it's kind of hard to explain how big this announcement was, especially with a big risk it was too for that HoloLive company too as well. Because at the time that I didn't know until research or like I was kind of like really big into HoloLive and started learning more about it, that at the time Keisan, or well, it used to be Keisan, but her old alias in HoloLive, because she graduated from it, was Coco, Kiryu Coco, and she basically was one of the few English talents or few JP talents that can actually talk in both Japanese and English, along with her and Hachima. Which even her, oh boy, man, her story is very like intriguing. That it's crazy to see how, like, if you ever get the chance to look up her lore story, and boy, it's a doozy. The fact that like it's so crazy that she had to stop with her story arc because it was getting so crazy that it was getting YouTube to demonetize her at that point, especially with her videos. But I guess apparently at the time, which I didn't know was going on, apparently like with those 2 specific talents, they were getting like pretty bad, like they were in a pretty bad drama that was going on at the time, which happened to be known as the HoloLive Taiwanese incident. And that one, I would recommend like watching certain videos on it too as well, because it's a whole package right there too, as well as the because they also used to have a HoloLive Chinese branch too as well. And man, that one did not end well at all either too as well. So if you ever get the time and chance to actually check it out, I would recommend it, because it's a really crazy like time that like it's especially like how such a short period of time that was basically in the time frame of the company at that point too as well. But Kiryu Coco actually was, I guess she was the front runner of asking Yago, which was the head, basically the boss, CEO, main guy on HoloLive, asking him to make an English branch of the HoloLive sector, because I think they might have, I want to say they had an ID or Indonesia branch before HoloLive English, I want to say. Let me take a quick look, because I don't remember what that one was. HoloLive Indo ID Gen 1. Okay, that's Gen 1 debut. Okay, so nope. Let's check this one. Sorry, give me 1 sec. I'm still trying to figure this out. HoloLive ID debuted on April 10th, 2020. Oh wow. So okay, so they debuted like literally like barely early on, like a couple months before HoloLive English did. But yeah, Kiryu Coco was the front runner for having the English branch actually be born, which is also crazy too that like there's such a very limited time between both the graduation of Kirikoko and the English branch being actually here, that it's kind of crazy that there's such a small window that it's kind of hard to like think that they were existing at the exact same time, because Kirikoko was basically, in my opinion, was probably the one person that probably changed a lot of Hololive and basically branched out and made Hololive to kind of like where it's at right now, especially with the debut of Hololive. So, I don't know where it stopped. So I'm going to continue on from where it last started. So Kirikoko was the one person I think that was probably the main spearhead of what Hololive is currently at this moment right now, which is crazy to think that, like, if it wasn't for her though, like just, if it wasn't for her wanting to get English, Hololive English out, which is now Hololive Myth, I don't think, I don't know, Vtubing might be the same as it was, or maybe might not be as big, if anything, too, because of, I want to say the impact from Hololive English is such a crazy big, like, worldwide, that it's kind of crazy, especially with even non-VTuber fans know who GIORNO is. Especially if you show them the picture of her and just say, oh, it's a short girl online and everything like that too as well. So, and it's just crazy to think how big it was just because of one person wanting to make a branch for it. But yeah, recently they just had their 5th anniversary debut, which as I said, I still remember when they basically had debut at this point. And I'll admit, at first, I was mostly a GIORNO fan, and then also an Amelia Watson fan, or Ame and Gruba fan at this point, and a little bit of Ina, if anything, too as well. But over the years, I slowly learned to just support every one of those main first 5 girls at this point, and slowly learn to kind of like really like just enjoy the presence that they have at that point too as well, and support them no matter what they do. And it kind of really shows, especially with the merch I have. Like, there's certain limited time merch that I have for each one. And I've been wanting to try to get at least one limited merch per member, at least for the first 5. Because I already have one of Ame. I have one of Gura. I have one of Ina. I still need Callie and Kiara is what I need. But on top of my dresser, not cabinet, not bookshelf, I do have the Hololive, their small plushies that they actually had a second wave merch run of it. And basically, I do not regret like not getting it, because the first run I managed to get at least 2 or 3 out of the 2. And I was sad because like I didn't get the Kiara and Callie one to complete the collection. And when they did the second run, I immediately took them up. But also I bought another one, Ina, because I wanted to give it to my buddy Draper too as well. So I wanted to like have him at least have something for him to have as well too as well, since he's also like a fan just as I am too of her. But it's crazy to think how much those girls have gone through, especially the initial wave that they were put into as well. And it's still crazy to think how, as I said, like I know I'm repeating myself, but it's crazy to think just because it's really crazy because it's, as I said, they debuted it during pandemic time, and during this time everybody was stuck in their homes, so they couldn't really much do nothing, which I think helped them rise a lot and everything like that too as well. And basically I still remember, especially during the lead up to the first Myth anniversary, that I really watched it, and there's one specific moment that even still to this day, that even when I watch it, and even seeing just certain pictures or drawings that like a certain artist put up, that still makes me feel into that moment of feeling sad and wanting and just crying or like just tearing up, just hearing her, Ina, hearing her say the words, "I wish I could hug you."
Ina? And Watson.
Going later was a bad idea because I'm also happy already. But I just want to say, thanks everyone who made this happen.
Are you
It's
okay?
no, I'm not.
Oh, Ina. Ina.
Ina, I love you. Ina, Ina.
Hug.
I'm sorry.
Hug. It's okay. I'll make me slither over there and give you a big old hug. I will.
I didn't want to take this sick I know we had our ups and downs over the year, but I'm just glad I can spend so much time with you guys. And I'm just thankful that I can all be here today. Thank you to all the staff who worked so hard behind the scenes as well in making this happen. And I just want to give you guys real hugs one day.
One day we will.
I know,
we will.
I wish I could hug you guys in real life at that point too, because as I said, these girls were like basically stuck at home. And nobody could have traveled outside of their states or even visit anybody. So, but yet they all still stuck together during the whole like pandemic. They collabed and everything like that too, and stuff like that. And they're kind of able to like kind of see each other, at least like through Discords and stuff like that too. But also like their first anniversary, they managed to have their own 3D small avatars to go through and actually celebrate it with a bunch of amazing fans that like helped them out too as well. But yeah, just hearing Ina saying, "I wish I could hug you in real life," was such a like, it's still getting me like choked up a little bit just saying it and everything like that too, because it's like you can tell she's having a hard time wanting to hold, like give them hugs and everything like that too. And it's like really like, man, it's something which is like every fan like watching it was like almost probably tearing up, crying, or just like choking up a bit too. And it's such a powerful thing, like, and especially during, I think it's during their second anniversary, or it was like almost like a year later after their initial first anniversary, that around that time that they teased something big. And it wasn't until like one of the streams that they had that they finally all met together, and everybody was such cheering on that they were able to finally meet up, able to see each other in person, that it's such a crazy monumental like feeling of like happiness and joy that they're able to like meet each other in person at this point too as well. And it's just so much happiness. Like I'm just smiling like ear to ear right now just thinking about it too as well. And it's just so freaking, yeah, like it's amazing to see how much these girls have grown up ever since their debut, how much have changed and everything too. And sadly, like of course, as like almost like any other job, yeah, people leave from the job itself and kind of like slowly like just slip away, or not slip away, but like they kind of just like, you know, go on their own ways and stuff like that too, which started off on the 4th anniversary with Ame from the original OG members leaving the group and basically having its whole thing. And then after that, basically Goopster, she left after that too as well. But they're both still like streaming under their new identities as Saba for Gruber, and Doobie as Ame. So those two are still doing perfectly fine and everything like that too. But now that the only members that are left from the original members are Ina, Callie, and Kiara, and it's still great to see them that they still are loving their jobs and stuff like that too. And even Callie saying like she wants to do as far as she can too as well. And it's crazy to see each one of those girls like basically just grow up and see the successes that they're able to do. Like Callie's was able to sign with Universal Music and in Japan, just to actually have their actual like labels like actually sign up with them. Kiara like managed to like able to like bond, like actually able to get more European girls to actually like come into the join in the group. And hold on, I need to drink water because my throat's getting fucking scraggly at this point. Like I've already been talking for almost over 30 minutes at this point. Like holy crap. Like, oh my god. And most of it is mostly about VTubers and stuff too. Like I was not expecting that at all either. Okay, yeah, it's a lot more better at this point. But yeah, and also then like just like Kiara like really exploded a lot, especially with like, because even I'll admit like she was probably the last girl I started fully supporting too, because like I never really gotten to like seeing her, or her for some reason she was like almost like still fighting the system. And I didn't know that she almost ended up quitting too if it wasn't for the help of the other Ian girls helping keep her up and stuff like that too. Which is like basically like almost seemed like her journey was basically like as if her lore was like a phoenix rising from defeat and still shining as bright as she can at this point too as well. And it's like, wow, it's like I don't know, it's like her journey is so amazing at this point. And Ina, like such a shy introverted like taco or octopus that like it's crazy to see how much that introverted girl coming out of her shell, being more social and just living her life at this point, especially with her being a big artist now that she has an actual own gallery of like being shown like across over the seas that you can actually go ahead and get tickets to actually see. Is like crazy at this point too as well. So, but yeah, I can talk so much more about this one, but I think I'll end it here for at least for today. But I just want to say I will still support these girls no matter to how far they'll go at this point, and will be so very like sad but also happy that whenever they do graduate, that at least I know that I was there from the beginning to explore their journey, seeing them grow up into the girls they are right now. And oh, that's one thing I forgot to say, just that their music that they have released over the years is amazing. I highly recommend listening. From Ina, I want to say Tamari is a good one. Violet's is a good second. Takanashi Kirara, she has such Do You is a good one. What's another one? It's the rock song. I want to say it's hold on, I gotta see this one because the rock song is my favorite one out of that one, other than Do You. Takanashi Kiara music. Holotori Dance with her too as well was such a good like song too. Hinotori was such a good like J rock song that I highly recommend that. And then Do You is another good pop song too as well. And Mordecai Calliope, boy, that one, oh man, that girl released so many freaking songs that like it is such a freaking like choose any songs. They're such a good one. But my recommendation from her early, was it? My favorite one has to be either. I'll give you a list if anything too. Hold on, let me pull up my YouTube music because it'd be a lot more easier seeing that at that point. So here's the songs I recommend from Mori Calliope. Red is a good one. The Grim Reaper is a live streamer. King, which is like you'll mostly find on YouTube, which is the King cover by Gargura and Calliope Mori. Q is another good one between those two duos. Unalive is a good one. The Reaper versus Sheep is also a good one too as well, because that's from her collabing with Tsunomaki Watame. Let's End the World is such another good one too as well. Like most of everything from that album, from the Shinigami Note album, was such a good one, which is basically Mera Mera, Make 'Em Afraid, Holy Shito, and Let's End the World is such a good banger of a freaking song. Overkill, Carousel of Imaginary Images, Midnight Mayo. Oh, the recent one I heard from her, like recent solo concert, which was a big deal too, because like she's the first non-JP member to have their own solo live concert, but also have it in the West itself, which is, I mean, in the States too as well. Like having that first time in the States as a solo concert is such a good one, which is Don Mai. Don Mai is it's such a good song too as well. And if you ever get the chance, I would say check out the group, like the group music that Hololive English all did together too as well. Like they all are such a good, like they're all such good music, especially with the harmonies between every single girl that sings in it, from like going from as early as like just the original 5 girls to basically just to like almost like the whole group. Like Journey Like 1,000 Years is such a good one, because that is their basically almost like seem like a what I want to say is like almost like a reflection off of their journey from the very beginning to like where they were at that point in time. It's kind of seeing how they like almost grew up at that point. Another one of their another one that was before that too was, give me a second, I'm trying to remember what because there's so many like stuff that's like such a good song from these girls, as well as many of the other girls too as well. That's such a good. Nonfiction is another one too, which is such a banger of a song. And like all of these ones I do recommend. I'll definitely will put my playlist, my VTuber playlist, onto the description and everything too as well. Connect the World is such another good one too as well as Reunion from the original Myth members. Breaking Dimension is a good one. And oh my god, that's one thing I forgot to say too, that I'm still angry that I don't have the Connect the World Blu-ray DVD when it came out, which is frustrating to me because that was the very first concert that Hololive English ever did, and it pains me to say that I don't have it because I didn't have the money at that point too as well. So, but they finally got the Breaking Dimension concert on Blu-ray, which I've been waiting for almost over a year, and I got at least 2 of them just because of one to open and maybe one to give to my buddy. But that's the other concert. The one thing I'm sad though that I didn't get to see this previous concert, which was All For One. I remember. Yeah, All For One was the concert that was recently, I think within last month in August, that they released that I wish I could have seen live. I think the streaming service is still there, but I'm saving money for the trip, which I'll talk in the next episode at that point too as well. But that's another good, like, that's one when it does come out on Blu-ray, I want to definitely get it. And I'll tell you though, for a quick second, Hololive merch is so fucking expensive because of the fucking stupid tariffs and everything like that too. I was trying to see how much it would be to like buy one of the anniversary merches from one of the girls. It was like $100 for just the original, and there was another $100 with the shipping and tax duties on it too as well. And that, oh my god, I had to pay almost like $200 just to get like $100 merch at this point. It's like so stupid at this point. So, but other than that, I'm so proud of these girls. I want to like continue being their fans and stuff like that too. Keep wanting to keep buying their merch whenever I can at this point. But yeah, I'll definitely end it there at this point because my throat's starting to die out on me right now from speaking for so much, since I rarely speak like this much, if anything, too as well, like all in a sequence. So thank you for listening to this podcast, and thank you for listening to this first episode too as well, of me being by myself, and hopefully that you enjoyed my journey, kind of like of going through VTubing, as well as like learning a little bit what's going on right now too as well. So hopefully that I'll see you in the next episode, and thank you for listening. See you around.
I'm not